Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's danahbanana. Today, as you can probably tell from the title, I am doing a subtle glam wedding makeup look. I get asked a lot about bridal makeup, bridesmaids makeup, or just if you're going to a wedding makeup. I get asked like what's a good style for that, what eyeshadow they should do. Now this is not, I'm not saying like everybody should wear this to a wedding. I am no professional. This is just a very because a lot of people that ask me don't wear makeup regularly, so they're just asking, you know, for something kind of simple but that looks really nice for a wedding or, you know, for their special day, whatever it may be. I'm trying to help out, but like I said, I'm no professional, just trying to give you some inspiration. And also, I created it with all drugstore makeup. The only thing I did not use, the only thing that was not drugstore that I used was my setting powder, but other than that, and I also gave you drugstore options for that, but everything else is drugstore, because also, like I said, a lot of people that ask me how they should do their makeup for a wedding really aren't, a lot of them aren't super into makeup, so I felt like drugstore options would be the best for people like that. I mean, for anybody, honestly. So yeah, so don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and if you like this type of video. Let's get right into this.
Here comes the bride, all dressed in white.
Okay, so I did this eye. This eye is the one that I always have trouble with. It just doesn't act right, so I like to do that one off camera. I'm going to do this eye now. I primed my eye with the Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Canvas. I've mentioned this in a million videos. I am obsessed with this. It's super full coverage, makes the shadows very pigmented, and stuff blends easily on top of it. It lasts forever. It makes your eyeshadow last forever. It's just really good for a really good price. Highly suggest this if you haven't tried it already. For eyeshadow, I'm actually going to dip into two palettes, but you don't absolutely have to. It's just what I'm doing for this video, but they're both affordable. The main one I'll be using is the ShopMissA Makeup Revolution Extra Spice palette, and then I will also be using, for one shade, I will be using the ShopMissA Revolution palette, the original one. I love both of these palettes so much. You can really do a lot with them, and in my opinion, Makeup Revolution has the best drugstore priced eyeshadow palettes. The lashes I'm using are the Kiss number 11 lashes. They look like that. They're pretty subtle, but you can, what I do with them is I curl them once they're dried, and I add mascara, and they're just nice, subtle, but definitely slightly glam lashes, and I'm a huge fan. So yeah, I'm gonna throw these on, and then we'll come and do the face. So for primer, I am using the e.l.f. Lit From Within, Now, this is my favorite primer. It's been my favorite primer for a long time now. It's very moisturizing, but it also makes my foundation last all day. It's really inexpensive, and it's just a primer that I have been obsessing over for months. And for foundation, it took me a minute to pick this out because I have three drugstore foundations that I wasn't I didn't know which one I wanted to use. The first option that I would recommend is the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. This is an incredible foundation. It's not as full coverage as the one I'm going to be using today, but it definitely is buildable. If you don't have, if your skin is pretty nice without makeup on, but you just want a more smooth, flawless base, I highly suggest this one. It lasts all day. It's good for my skin. I don't know, when I take it off, my skin feels even better than before I put it on, and it photographs beautifully. Really, really nice foundation. And then also the the Maybelline Superstay foundation. Love this one. This is an amazing foundation. It's full coverage, lasts all day, stunning, stunning, stunning. I've raved about this a million times. That's one of my favorite foundations. But today I am using the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define foundation. This is another one. I kind of forgot about it just because I have a million foundations and whatever. And so the other day I reached for it again, and I was like, okay, now I know, now I remember why I like this so much. It photographs. It's probably one of the best. It makes my skin look the best. I don't know, I can't explain it. When I wear it and I take pictures, I'm always so obsessed with the way my skin looks, and it's long lasting, especially on top of the e.l.f. primer. Really like this. So this is what I'm going to be using today. This one is F7. This is shade F7, and this is shade F11. F11 is way too dark for me. I purchased it and I didn't realize, in the bottle it doesn't look as dark as it actually is. It's a pretty dark, it's very dark for me, but I'm going to use a tiny bit of that, but mainly I'm going to be using F7. So we're going to use F7, and then, yeah, it is a little light, and then put a little bit of F11 on. So I'm going to be using my ShopMissA sponge. This is my favorite sponge. It is the softest sponge I have ever laid on my hands on, and it's just, I can't live without it now. So what I'm going to start doing is linking. I'm just going to put my two favorite brush sets down in the description box if you're interested in my favorite brush sets. One of them is from ShopMissA, and if you're going to get some brushes from ShopMissA, I do highly suggest this sponge. On the picture it'll say 2 times softer. This is the one you want to get, or that is my favorite, and it's only $1. For concealer, my favorite drugstore concealer is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear. Now this is a very full coverage concealer, but it's not super drying like the Tarte Shape Tape. I've done a full-on review on this if you want to check that out. This is such a nice concealer. It lasts, it doesn't look cakey, but it covers whatever you need it to cover. Okay, so normally I would put a translucent powder on where I put my concealer, and then a compact powder all over my face. So I'll tell you what I would normally use, and these two are both great drugstore options, but I'm going to be using a kind of a high-end product that I have been obsessing over, and I use it over my entire face. So but first I'll show you the drugstore options. So my ride or die translucent setting powder is the Rimmel Stay Matte. Now what I do is lightly dust this on over my concealer and then immediately wipe it away. I do not bake with this. Anytime you bake, you're risking getting flashback no matter how good the powder is, especially if the powder is lighter than your skin tone. And then also, if you have any type of dry skin, even slightly dry skin, baking can really just make your face feel like a desert. So no matter what powder you're using, I always suggest to like lightly dust it on there. If you do have super oily skin and baking works for you, continue to do that. Don't listen to me. I'm just saying, for dry skin, if you're struggling with flashback, even with some of the best powder, that could be why. Just try lightly dusting it and see how it works for you. So yeah, for that, I suggest the Rimmel Stay Matte. And then for all over, I really like the Maybelline Super Stay. This does add extra coverage, which isn't a bad thing. You can lightly use it or, you know, build it up more, but it's very nice, keeps you matte all day, but it's not overwhelming. It's not drying at all, even though like I have dry skin. I have not had an issue with over drying with this powder, so I really like this one. But anyway, for all over my face, even the concealer, I am using the Too Faced Do You translucent radiant nude setting powder. So when you look at this, it looks glittery, which is scary. Like whenever I first put it on my hand, when I first tested this out at Ulta, I was like, I like that, like, and that's what it looks like when you swatch it. I'm like, okay, I like this, but I don't know how it's like. I don't want to look like Edward Cullen, you know. I was kind of nervous, but I tried. I've worn it about 3 times now. I wore it for the wedding. Yeah, brave. This wedding, the wedding this past weekend, and I wore it the next day, and I just couldn't stop looking at my skin. It looked so nice. Not sure how this will be with oily skin, but I do have dry skin, and it keeps me matte, but not like, it's not overwhelming, but it also gives me like a slight radiant look, but nothing like drastic, nothing oily looking. I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just a really nice powder. It does have a scent, like a watermelon kind of scent, but I don't mind it. It goes away within a few seconds. But it's got the mesh thing right there, and you just, I'm just like lightly dusting it over my face with this Real Techniques BO1 brush, and I just do like that, and then I tap off some of the excess, and then I just pat it into my face. Like, it does give you a glow, which some people might not like, but I don't know. I just really like the way it makes my skin look. I am a huge fan, and so I just wanted to use it for this video. I'm sorry that it's not drugstore. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows now. Most of the time I use a pomade, but the past few days I've been using a pencil, and I've really been liking the way it looks. So I'm using the NYX Professional Micro Brow Pencil. I love this one. This is my favorite pencil of all time, and this is in the shade Espresso. Well, I do have pretty decent brows, so especially now they've grown out a lot since my microblading that took away some of my brows. So I pretty much just like kind of fill in the areas that kind of have little gaps. Now, just to be on the safe side, I do add some brow gel. This is the Joa Brow Down to Me. It does have a pencil on one side. The pencil is kind of thick, but it is a good brow pencil. I like the formula. But on the other side is a tinted brow gel, and this is in the shade Brunette. And also to kind of help all of this powder set in. Not that it's an issue because this is a light powder. I'm going to use my I Heart Revolution Fixing Spray in Guava and Rose. Okay, so I did not film this because I hate doing my lower lash line on camera, but it's really simple. I just took the darkest shade that I used. I was going for a little more smoky. If you want it to be smoky, you can use the darker shade that you used. I used this Enchanted one, or you could go for the lighter shades that you used, or a mixture of both if you want something in between. I just wanted something a little more smoky. And for my lower lash line, I really like this brush. This is the e.l.f. eye crease brush, and it's like, it's dense, but it's soft, and it's really small, and it's like perfect for my lower lash line. Okay, so I originally started doing my contour with the butter bronzer, but I don't know what it is. Like, it's just, sometimes it's not as consistent as I would like it to be. I absolutely love this bronzer, but like sometimes it just does not, I don't know. I'm not liking the way it looks on me. So I've been using my Jamco Cosmetics contour palette, contour highlight powder palette that I'm obsessed with. I've been using it consistently for weeks, and I've never had one issue with it being like muddy or just not consistent. So yeah, but that's not Drugstore. So I'm going in with my Kokie powder contour palette. I never have any issues with this one either. So I'm just going in with this shade right here. This is obviously my preferred shade. We're gonna try this again. I also put some on the sides of my nose. Oh, this brush is from a BH Cosmetics set that is linked down below, and this is, I don't know, but it's a little small kind of fluffy brush in that set. The markings on it came off, but it's my go-to like contour brush. For blush and highlighter, I will be using the Makeup Revolution Pro HD Amplified Get Baked Powder. That is a mouthful. Now I'm using, like I said, I'm using this for blush and highlighter. I am using this because the formula of these for highlighter and blush are like, the formula is something that lasts on me. When it comes to blush, blush never lasts on me, no matter how high-end whatever. And these baked products by Makeup Revolution have been so important in my makeup routine. I'm gonna do highlighter first, and I'm going to use this one. It's like a gold champagne kind of shade. For the blush shade, I'll be using this one. It's called Lit, and it looks like a very hot pink, but I swatched it and it seems like it can be subtle if I make it. It does look pretty bright on the brush. Putting some on my nose. I just like the kind of rosy nose look. Rosy nosy. Okay, now for setting spray, before I do my lips, I'll do setting spray. This is the Kokie Set and Forget Long Lasting Makeup Spray. I really like this one. I normally use the Milani setting spray, but I forgot to pack it, and for some reason I packed this one this past weekend, and I used it for my makeup for the wedding and for a full day after that, and my makeup looked beautiful, so I definitely trust this. And then they also have one that I used to use, but because my skin used to be slightly oily, but now it's not oily at all. It's super dry, and I liked this one when I was a little bit more oily. It's the Kokie Fix It Up Matte Setting Spray, long lasting. This one's really good too. They've got some really nice sprays. Now, I do like to bring my whatever setting spray I use. I do like to bring this and like a powder or something. If I don't have a lot of room, I'll bring just this and my powder and a brush, and if I just need a slight touching up, I will add some powder and then spray this on, and it starts looking as fresh as when I first put it on. little tip. I don't know. That's what I like to do. Okay, so I put on some jewelry and a white little dress in the wedding spirit, you know, and now I am going to do lips. So if you are the bride, I would suggest going for a super long lasting lipstick and one that does not transfer. One I recommend for that is the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink or the Stila Stay All Day. Like I've said before, I wore the Stila Stay All Day on my wedding day. Lasted amazing all day. It didn't get on my husband's lips. You know, you'll be doing a lot of kissing that day. And the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink is the exact same. Lasts even longer than the Stila Stay All Day. So yeah, those are options. But I am going to put on this NYX Powder Puff Lippy. It's in the shade Squad Goals. I don't know. I just love this shade and I feel like it's going to go good with this. Now, these don't last nearly as long as either of the lipsticks I just talked about, but it's a powder, like powder to cream kind of, I don't know. It kind of looks like a powder on the lips, not like dry or anything like that. It's just like subtle, but the way it fades is really nice and you can easily consistently like apply it throughout the day and it never gets like super cakey or anything like that because it's such a light formula. So that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this helped. I know I'm no professional, but I would like to, you know, I get asked a lot about styles like this, so here it is. And also, I just filmed a hair tutorial on this, so keep an eye out for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love you so much. Bye!